It was at this moment that he knew. He
Yes, you saw the title of the video. I got 2 flat tires. I hit the biggest pothole in the world, and it took out 2 of my tires. And because my car's an all-wheel drive, I had to get 4 new ones. I was just driving along casually in Spokompton when all of a sudden, I hit the biggest pothole in the world. I'll show you videos and photos in a second of it. But instantly, my car just lost air pressure on the left side. They probably came out within seconds of this happening. So I pulled over, and this is what I got. 2 flat tires riding on the rim. And at this moment, I was pretty angry. Why don't we maintain our roads? So I called a tow truck and waited. As I was waiting, I went back, looked at the pothole. I could fit my entire foot in it. This photo doesn't do it justice. I put my water bottle in there for reference, and look at this. Come on. It's almost like halfway up the water bottle. It's about like 4 or 5 inches. And obviously, my car hit right here, and just the air couldn't go anywhere, so it just escaped. So there it is again, and I got the car towed. I took it to Les Schwab, and they did a good job. I have some issues. I'll talk about that later in the video. Nelson's Towing, they did a great job. They were there within like 10 minutes. Yeah, you can see my Volvo over here. And the only problem I had with this is they actually scraped the front lip when they were putting this on. So, obviously, this guy was great. His name was Mike, I think. Great guy. He had that thing loaded up there in like 20 minutes. This is the tire. You can see this is the front one. This one was bad. You can see up here, look at the sidewall is just completely ripped. So I knew that was completely toast. And this tire was also completely toast. I don't know. The sidewall ripped somewhere else here. It may have been on the inside. Anyway, so I got the car towed to Les Schwab. Here's the issue here when he was towing it. If you look here, this rear tire is like about to touch the ground because this right side has air in the tire, whereas this left side has 0 air. So that was kind of sketchy because I was afraid that the car was going to drop down and just damage the parking brake or CV axle, or even the rim if he hit a big enough bump. So luckily that wasn't the case, and the car still drives fine. So I got the car towed to Les Schwab. Here it is. It looks like someone shot the tires out. I came back the next day, and I dropped the car off at 7 in the morning. No, I dropped it off that night. It spent the night there. I was there 7 in the morning to schedule an appointment and stuff like that. And they didn't start working on it till 3 in the afternoon. And I was like, I want my car back. Anyway, they did a good job. You can see it here. This is when I pulled up. Someone stole my wheels. It's like straight out of San Francisco. This was the moment of truth here. So Elon started balancing my tires, and I got a little bit scared that this rim was bent. Because once they throw it on this balancer, that's how they can tell that the rim was damaged. That was not the case, though. Even though I hit that pothole at about 35 miles an hour, everything was fine, and I was really glad because a rim on eBay goes for like $300. So shout out to Elon, he did a great job. This is a funny story. When I showed up, my phone connected to the car because of phone key, because I had to grab something out of it. Then when I walked away, it auto-locked. And then when the guy went to put the wheel back on, the car alarm started going off. So if you're a thief and you try to steal a Tesla wheel or put one back on, the car alarm will go off. So that was pretty funny. And then these guys were just like, I don't know. I feel like they were hating on the car. You know, Elon was kind of giving them the side eye, but they were not too happy about it. I think they were just asking where the turbo at. And they were pretty disappointed. Anyway, I got some new tires, something Control 2. They're pretty good. They siped the heck out of them. So hopefully they'll last. They're 65,000 mile tires. So that's pretty good. So I left. And as I was driving, I got this notification. Air pressure and tires very low. And I was like, oh boy. So what happened is, this was actually an alert, and I pulled out of the Les Schwab place before I even looked down and saw this. So this was actually here when I left. So I just had to recalibrate the sensors. I had to go into service, put the car in park, and go over to reset TPMS sensors, and they finally went away. But this was the issue. I told them to set the tire pressure to 42 psi. And look at this. They set the left front to 44, 43, 42, and 37. Like, come on. It was just annoying. So I ended up going back, right? And this brings me to the other issue here. The other issue is I asked for the both good tires back, right? Because I had 2 good ones on my passenger side. So I asked them, I was like, well, I want both of them. So I called them up. They said, yeah, we'll totally put them in the trunk for you. And then I got there and I was like, did you put the 2 tires in there? And they said, oh, we only put 1. The other one was bad. And I said, no, it wasn't. And I said, what'd you do with it? He's like, we threw it in the trash. So you know what I told the guy? Then go dig it out of the trash. So he did. He went and got it, which was great. And it was just kind of frustrating that happened. All right, we're approaching the spot where I blew out my tires. So my city, they can repaint lines. Like, they literally repainted these lines earlier today. But they can't fill a pothole. Look at this. Let's see here. I'm going to go real slow up here, but this pothole is huge. I'm slowing it down. Where is it? It's up here. All right, where is it? There it is. Oh, they filled it. They filled it. Son of a... Check it out. They filled my pothole. Still so pissed about that. They filled it the day after I drove over it, blew out 2 of my tires, and I just spent $1,200 in tires because of that. Alright, so check these out. These are the Road Control 2, whatever that means. So they siped the heck out of them, they said. But check this out. Look at how much tread is on these. These are going to last a long time. They're 65,000 mile tire, they said. So hopefully that'll last a while. And they said rotate them every 3,000 to 5,000 like a normal car, which kind of sucks. But they're lush swab tires, which means I can get them rotated included and balanced also included. So that was definitely a benefit. But let's hop back in the car and look at what they charged me. All right, so let's hop in here. Let me turn the AC off so you guys can actually see or hear. So, per tire, $224 a tire. So that came out to $899.96 for all 4 tires for the Road Control 2s. They spun and balanced the wheels, which were $16.99 a tire. Came out to $67.96. And, oh, because I kept the driver's side ones, or the passenger side ones, they didn't charge me on that. So they charged wait a second. They charged me for 4 tire disposals when they were only supposed to charge me for 2 because I kept 2. Okay, whatever. They siped the tires, which was 17 bucks each, and then they rebuilt the tire pressure monitoring system, which didn't make sense to me until I looked here. And they replaced this right here, I believe, because this is actually I think this is the head of the TPMS sensor or something. So I guess they replaced those gaskets or whatever. So whatever that means. So they did that, and then they also so they did all that. Total was $1,179, which is pretty expensive for tires. Albeit we did just replace last year the tires on our 2009 Ford Expedition, and that came about to the same price, but keep in mind those are way bigger tires. If you have the Aero wheels, I bet you that would be a lot cheaper. What is this? Okay, yeah, it'd be a lot cheaper, but these are such low profile tires that just happens. So you can see that, yeah, they're like so low profile, but you can see how dirty they are in them. I need to pressure wash that. So let me show you some other damage that happened when I hit the pothole. I'm not really concerned about it because these wheels are already curbed to smithereens by the previous owner. But let me see if I can find it here, because they definitely did do some damage. Maybe they put them on the other side. Okay, wait. So up here you can see, wherever you see, they did this. I think it did this, because this one used to be the good rim, I think. I have one good rim, that's it. The other ones are all curved, but you can definitely see it, yeah, right here. That right there was from me hitting the curb. Not me actually hitting the curb, me hitting a pothole. So that's definitely an L, but overall it's okay now. The car drives fine, it is what it is. What I actually am doing is I called up the county, I called up the risk assessment people, and I told them, I was like, hey, I hit this massive pothole, right? And they were like, well, okay, just file a claim, it probably won't happen. So I filed a claim. We'll see if it actually happens. I have time to I have time to go to small claims court, but I just don't feel like it. So that's definitely something that's kind of an L. So out of $1,200 here. But in the next clip, I'll show you when I went back to the scene, and you'll see it filled in. All right, folks, and that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. This is probably going to be my last video here, as I'm probably gonna die here in a second. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and hopefully I never have to make a video like this again. I'm hoping to do a weekly video from now on. We'll see. Now that it's summer, I've got a lot more free time without school and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching.